Hi, fellow traders. Well, it's another week in the books. It wasn't a perfect week, but it was a pretty good week. Only had one bad day, and the rest were pretty good. So, pretty happy with this week. Ready to chill out, relax, and get recharged and ready for next week. But one quick thought I want to share with you guys: the further you walk away from accountability, the weaker you're going to become. We have to hold ourselves accountable. If you don't hold yourself accountable and challenge yourself every day to execute with 100% accuracy, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because the one thing that we have 100% control over is our execution. Now, we have control over when we click the mouse button or hit the hotkey, or however you trade. Okay, we have control over that. Once we do that, it's out of our hands. So all we have to do is sit back and wait for the results to come in, whether it be good or bad. But we have to hold ourselves accountable that we're doing the right things every day, that we're coming in the market with the right mindset, and that everything that we have control over, we've done. So if the internet goes down, nothing we can do about it. We have to accept it, but make sure that we've done everything that we needed to do in order to make sure it doesn't happen. Same thing if our broker, our broker platform messes up. We have to be accountable to ourselves so that we know how to deal with what happens. If it shuts down, what's the plan? If you don't have a plan other than to cry, bitch, moan, and complain about your broker being crap, you're not holding yourself accountable. You're not doing the things that you can do, that you have control over to deal with that situation. So just think about that this weekend. It's the more you separate yourself from holding yourself accountable for all of the elements in your trading, the weaker of a trader you're going to become. And we all know what happens to weak traders. So let's get refocused and let's hold ourselves accountable. I know I have to go through it too. Every now and then I slip, and I have to look myself in the mirror and say, hey, this is you. This is all on you. And if you succeed or fail, it's on you, boss. All right, so let's take a look at the SPY today. You can see yesterday we closed below the 5, and that shows, and we closed below that 323.41 line, which pretty much told us we're going to sell off. So we did gap down this morning, and it was kind of an indecision day. I was expecting, if with the gap down we had at the open, I was expecting to test 319. I was really expecting to get a better test of 319 today. But we did. What was the low today? The low was 319.25. So we did dip down, like we did here a couple of days. So the question is going to be, will this hold for Monday, or are we going to open with another gap down below this 20 and head on down to the 50? We don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. We don't know what news is going to come out. We don't have a clue. So all we can do is be ready to react, have a plan both ways. I'd love for it to pop back up and let these swings I've got complete. They're just kind of stuck right now in no man's land. Camping World I was expecting big things out of it, but the markets kind of got it in low. We've already taken profit on it. PayPal, we're kind of stuck in the rut there. I'm thinking there's some big potential there. So we just have to wait this market out. Now, I would expect if it's going to bounce, it's going to do it off the 20 here like it has been doing, over the last month. But time will tell. But pretty much a scratch day. Pretty indecision between the Bulls and the Bears. And we'll see what that brings us on Monday. So today, I was out the morning, and I'm not going to even tell you the night that I had with my animals. But I had to take one of my dogs to the vet this morning, and so I missed the open. And I built my watch list, and we did all of that before I had to leave. And so you guys saw, you had my watch list. You saw the stocks that I was going to be watching, and BA and Roku was on my secondary watch. BA wasn't one I was looking to trade out of the gate. I've pretty much figured out that my best bet is to trade it later on. Let it settle in and give me a direction, and I can trade it later on. So if you look at this BA, and let's look at this. I'm going to do something really quick. If you look at this BA right here, you can see that I'm drawing the lines here. You can see that we pretty much were putting in a flag. We were kind of putting in the flag, and here's a flagpole right here. Drive it down. So you see there's a flagpole right there. So we pretty much did the flag. Now, I could have been a little aggressive and bought it here as we were making a higher high, and then right over the 20. But I was kind of just getting in, trying to get a feel for how the market's moving. And I was like, well, no, I'll wait until we actually break. Now, I know that on something like this, that this is a selling event. A lot of us, a lot of the newer traders, and a lot of, you're taught to buy the flag break. But the big money guys, they're already in it, and they're waiting to sell into your buy orders. I was looking at the momentum that this thing had, and I felt that we may get a little pullback, but we should be able to withstand that selling event and have enough buyers to drive it up, around 182 and somewhere in there. That's what I was looking for. And so I bought it on the break, and it just messed around. It pulled back, bounced back a little bit. This candle opened a little bit higher. It went up a little bit and sold all the way off, bought up a little bit. And I was like, okay, we're just consolidating here. Maybe we're gonna get a move. And sure enough, it failed. So once we lost the 20, it was time to take it off. And I watched this thing sell through, and I watched this candle open, try to push up, and fail miserably. And as this was coming down, I'm like, it's time to get in. This is a nice move from where I'm getting in here. I've got my risk managed. I've got all this resistance. My first target is going to be this 177.75 to the 50 right here. So that was my first target, and I took 2/3 off. It was 170. What was it? 177.90. All right, took 2/3 off, and I said, if it bounced back and stopped me out, great. I'll take this. This is Friday. We may not get the moves that I like. I'll go ahead and take it. But if not, I'm going to wait see what it does here at the 200, then the 100, and, take another piece off there. And then if we get it, let's look for a red to green. And we ended up getting the whole move. I mean, this is as beautiful of a move as you can get. It's just like what the moves that I like to trade throughout the year. The summertime, I don't typically get these, which is why I take 2/3 off on the first hit versus a half. But whenever I do, it's always welcome. So textbook move here, and we get the bounce and the rejection. I'm not gonna short into the opening range high, or I'm not gonna short into red to green. We're gonna have to get back through all of this. So once we got through and cleared it, I took it short. Of course, we're gonna get a little bounce. It seems like every time I enter a trade now, the next candle is gonna bounce. But you can't worry about that. Your focus has to be 100% on the chart, not on the price, not on, okay, I was green but now I'm red. None of that. You shouldn't even be looking at your P&L. The whole focus should be on the chart itself. And so it bounced around and chopped around a bit. Finally got to my first target. You always, most of the time, your target is going to be in an area where other people are going to have their target. In this case, this was a whole dollar mark. So you would expect once you start taking profit, it's going to bounce. You're buying. And everybody else that's taking profit at this whole dollar mark is buying. So, you don't have, there's no reason not to expect it to bounce a little bit. But the 9 held. And my final target on this was going to be the opening range low. We all know how significant these levels are. So I figured if we got here, we would probably get a bounce. Or if it established below, I could get back short again, basing it on this opening range low. But it never did. It finally got here right before 3:30. And kind of a perfect trade. Now we did get some fade going into the close, and it dropped below 174, but I'm okay with this, because what we're looking for is the meat of the move. We're not looking to get the exact top and the exact bottom. We're looking to get the meat of the move. If we can salvage the meat of the move, then we're gonna do good. Everything's gonna work out great. So really, really good way to end the week. I was really happy with this. Practically no stress. The only thing that stressed me out was the first trade that didn't work. But you can't let that, you can't let it affect your mind and affect your psyche. I can't think of the word right now, but you can't let it affect your mind when you're trading. Because if I would have let this affect me, I probably would have traded like crap all through here. And this is about as perfect as I could trade. I stuck to my plan. I didn't change anything up. Even this setup was on point. Maybe I could have waited for it to close above this and then get in. That's the more conservative entry. But I wasn't going into this. I wasn't thinking conservative. I like the price action. Look at this pole. So if you learn the flag strategy, which I don't teach and I really don't trade it, but the theory is the flag break move should equal at least half of the flagpole. You would expect, you want it to equal have the same length up, but most of the time you're going to get at least half of that. But we just didn't get it. So you move on. And that's pretty much what I did. So ended up to a 395.40. And I look at this and I say, man, what could have happened if I didn't have this loss? Where would we be? And this is going to illustrate, where did it go? Oh, here we go. This closed position P&L, this doesn't break down or separate longs and shorts. This just tells you what your P&L was, after it's all said and done. This breaks down how much I made on each way, long and short. So short, 864.59. The long trade, I lost $432 on. Just imagine if I eliminating this, I'd have made $860. What if I had taken this short? Let's say I made $300. Then this could have easily been a $1,000, $1,100 day without that first loss. So I'm really pleased with the day. I have no regrets whatsoever. So that was it. That wraps it up for me. Sunday, we'll talk more about the swings in the market analysis and swing watch list session. I'll kind of break down and talk more about the swings there, since that's going to be a better forum. And then we'll look at the next week and what we may have in store for that. So you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. And those of you that come in with me on Sunday, I'll see you guys Sunday. If not, I'll catch the rest of you guys on Monday.